What do we know so far about Star Trek Discovery? The ship is an old Ralph McQuarrie design, the same guy who designed C-3PO and R2-D2. I'm looking forward to seeing how the bridge of this ship looks. Is it going to look like the old 60s sets? They can't really get away with making them look too updated, but it would also be weird if they recreated the sets of the era exactly without updating them at all. Sarek is in at least one episode. If Sarek is on the show, Amanda Grayson could be on the show. Who would play her? Will any of the rest of the original series characters appear? If so, who will play them? Will the folks from the Kelvinverse movies play them? Will Winona Ryder play Amanda Grayson again? Could they have Shatner appear, then just use the de-aging software like they did with Robert Downey Jr. in Captain America Civil War? This probably won't happen in the first season, because I think we would have heard about it by now. Also, manipulating actors' faces like that is expensive. What the hell is up with these Klingons? Are they really even Klingons? They look sort of like Klingons, but sort of not. Maybe they're going for a mix of the older Klingon design and the newer one. Maybe these are Klingons who are just beginning to recover from the augment virus. Star Trek Enterprise explained why Klingons in TNG look different from the Klingons in the original series, but we have yet to get an explanation of how they managed to restore their original appearance. Hopefully Discovery will cover that. The Klingon character T'Kuvna, played by Chris Obi, is described as wanting to unite the Klingon houses, so maybe he will try to do so with a cure for the effects of the augment virus. Either way, if these are Klingons, I hope they explain why they look the way they do. If they just say, okay, these are what Klingons look like now, without any acknowledgement of their appearance, I will be annoyed. This wireframe of a ship that's in the teaser trailer looks a little complicated to be a ship from the 2250s, which is when this is supposed to take place. Ships back then looked a lot smoother and less detailed. This uniform is interesting because it uses this symbol. The show is supposed to take place a few years before Kirk's 5-year mission, but back then it was common for each ship uniform to have its own insignia for the uniforms. The only exceptions to this were the uniforms for the USS Kelvin and the USS Franklin. Because these uniforms are from the Kelvinverse movies, I'm inclined to believe it was just an oversight. I care a lot about canon, so if there are major deviations from what has already been established, hopefully they'll be explained. In the fall of 2016, the show was scheduled to debut in January. I was immediately skeptical of this release date because they hadn't even cast anyone by that time. It was no surprise to me when that date was pushed forward a few months. Now there's no specific release date at all, but Doug Jones, who plays Lieutenant Saru, says it'll air probably in the fall, maybe September-ish.